Does anyone have a question I would like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart.
Yes.
But it's just, it's more about the chakras. And I'm just wondering if like all living beings, do they all have chakras or only humans? Do you know?
All human beings have chakras. Yes. Most human beings have undeveloped chakras.
Yes, but and animals, do they have chakras actually? Do you
I'm
know?
sure they have chakras. I've never really done a study of that, but I'm sure they have
I was just wondering.
chakras, not as highly developed as human beings, but they have centers. But
But
I've never really done a study of that or cared to do a study of that. I mean, more interesting to me is human beings all
yes, of
have,
course.
they have 7 chakras as well as other chakras they have inside them. And, most people function on tension. And one of the reasons for that is the chakra system is really underdeveloped. There's no grounding in them. There's no balance in them. The heart chakra is not really open. When they talk, their throat chakra isn't open. So mostly it's like static on a radio when people talk to each other, et cetera. Minds are not quiet. I mean, I used to, when I lived in Manhattan, I would stand on a street corner and just watch people walk past. Every single person that walked past me was thinking in their heads. Minds completely congested with the tension of thought. This to me is one of the great tragedies in the world, when there is such a clear and simple means of overcoming so many of the problems people have, but nobody does it. And even people that are aware of it and know about it, I mean, it's work. It's work to truly master oneself. And we live in a world where people think someday a white knight is going to ride over the horizon, with some kind of fairy wand that's going to make it all wonderful for us. And of course, that doesn't happen. The white knight is ourselves, building a system inside that truly is capable of transforming the suffering, the tension, the unhappiness into, a life where somebody is living on the highest levels of what it means to be human. Joy, love, compassion, quiet mind, relaxed, et cetera, et cetera, That to me is much more interesting than whether or not animals have chakras. I'm sure they do in a very undeveloped way, but the fact that people, have, chakra systems and don't do anything about it, that to me is an extraordinary thing, because so many of the problems people have could be alleviated if they learn to master the chakra system. But, the universe gives us many lifetimes to do this and to find out and learn. We beat our heads against the wall until the head gets so sore, we finally have to stop beating it and learn another way of doing it. So, yeah, everybody has chakras. And I wish, I can't teach the whole world, but, this meditation is open to whomever would like to come anywhere in the world, as long as they have Wi-Fi. They can attend a meditation class like this. There are other people that teach versions of this, not exactly the same. And these classes are open for people to learn about this. You know, not many people take advantage.
I have another question, Stuart.
Yes.
Sometimes sometimes my intention helps me to get more in my hara, to develop more my chakra system. But sometimes this intention is confused with the will. Sometimes there is a will, and I can't really separate them. Like the will wants also this, and then there's intention. There's a difference between the two, but sometimes it's all mixed up. Voilà. Maybe you can talk of.
Paul, is the struggle that goes on in every human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's what goes on, you know, the attention to grow and develop one's life, to have a spiritual life. And then there's always that energy inside all of us, you know, that fights it. Because to do it, we have to change, we have to, you know, all kinds of things have to take place that our systems aren't used to in order to grow inside ourselves. And there's always resistance. Now, as I said the other day, I don't know if it was here or another class I teach in the Americas, resistance isn't a negative thing. Resistance is telling you you're always ready to make a major step in your life. And then we fight it. We'd rather live in the familiar, you know, than make those kinds of changes. So resistance isn't really negative. It's, you know, it's just telling you you're ready for a change. And then it becomes kind of a battle of dragons. Can our will take us past the resistance? Can our need to have a spiritual life take us past the resistance? And if we truly have that kind of need, it will take us past the resistance. The resistance will break down, it'll dissolve, the tensions will be transformed into Shakti, into energy. And we can use that resistance in order to build our inner life. Resistance is just energy. It's energy that opposes growth and spiritual practice, you know, because it means somebody really has to change inside. And it doesn't mean the external world will change. We'll just see it differently. And seeing it differently means that it is changing for us. Maybe not for other people, but the way we see it changes, makes it more possible for us to deal with it in a much more open way. So resistance isn't negativity. It's just telling you, hey, you really have reached a place where you're ready to take a major step in your life. Then if the need is deep enough and strong enough, and the will is deep enough and strong enough, you can overcome the resistance. You can transform the resistance into Shakti, into energy that nurtures your inner life. I think, you know, look, I've had this all my life. You know, resistance. I've had an objective, external, material world of resistance, and I've had internal resistance inside myself. And I ultimately came to the realization, Stuart, do you need to have a spiritual life? Do you need to grow? Do you want to become a stagnant pool of water, living that way the rest of your life? And the answer for me was no. And then I built the chemistry inside. The need got stronger. The will got stronger. And I was capable of overcoming that resistance. And frankly, it always changes in ways that you never expect anyway. It's always kind of very interesting the way things evolve and change, and it's never what you think it's supposed to be. It's always something different and almost even more wonderful that takes place. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I like the questions. They're very good. You know, these questions and answers and all this talking is recorded. And in the last few months, I've gotten some very interesting and, well, I think people that are quite remarkable students because of those talks on Facebook and on YouTube. And it's very exciting for me to do this and to answer the questions and then to see it go out in the world and touch people who are looking for a spiritual life and maybe find it, for God's sake, on Facebook, somebody who talks a language that really is clear to them, or on YouTube, or one of those, you know, social things, you know. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, then there will be a class on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And as I always say, I'm just very grateful to all of you for being here, for being part of this. Your presence here really makes me work deep on myself. And I need that. And I'm just very grateful to every single one of you that attends these classes. Nobody is taken for granted. Nobody will ever be taken for granted. And I just want to say thank you. God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.